Unfortunately, I'm out of frozen pizzas. So what I'm gonna do is show you how to make a pizza from scratch. It's really not that hard. Until I've learned how to do it recently, it seemed like a crazy thing. Like everyone takes these pizza dough, they're throwing it in the air, and you have no idea what it is. But when you figure it out, it's pretty easy. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Watch. First of all, the thing you wanna do is you need to wake up the yeast. The yeast is the key to making a homemade pizza. You get this package of active dry yeast. We're going to show a link in the description. You're going to need yeast. You're going to need some water, a couple bowls, some flour. You're going to need a measuring cup. You're going to need some measuring spoons. Let's get going. So you need about a cup, a little under a cup of water. What you want to do is warm it up to about 110 degrees, basically so you can put your hand in it. It doesn't burn your hand, it's just warm. Warm that up. Not for too long. You can't have the water too hot. You can't have it too cold. Yeast is kind of finicky. So that feels about right. It's a little too warm. Let's give it a second. Got this dry yeast. What you want to do, it's good to have these little scissors around. Packaging sucks, doesn't it? But a little pair of scissors goes a long way in the kitchen. One of my favorite kitchen tools. We empty the dry yeast into there, and you get about a half a tablespoon of sugar. And the sugar is the food for the yeast. Get that in there too. And you take a whisker and you whisk. Woohoo! Whisk that stuff. What you want to do is you're waking this yeast up. Waking it up. It'll start to bubble. You get that nice frothy, bubbly yeast. When you fail, and I've failed a couple times, is when the yeast isn't activated properly. So you get it going, and you'll know it's going because it's bubbling up. Look, check it out. Look at all that frothy. See how frothy it is? That means it's going. It's activated now. So what you do is you take that, you're gonna cover it up for about 5 minutes with a nice towel. You wanna keep it somewhere kind of warm. So what I do, since I have this old school oven that's always kind of warm, I just put it in there. It's warm and it will start going. Now we're gonna move on to our flour, which is not a difficult thing. What we have is 2 full cups all-purpose flour. We're gonna have some salt, a little garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of oregano, some sugar, and a whisker, and this weird wooden tool, which I'm sure someone on the internet can tell you what it's called, but I'll just call it my cooking paddle. A nice crust has a little flavor to it. My favorite part of pizza is the crust, actually. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your 2 cups of flour, and you're gonna add about 3/4 teaspoon. I like a little salt. A little salt in there. All right, then we're gonna add half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And we're gonna add half a teaspoon of onion powder. These are things that you can get pretty damn easily right at the grocery store. Nothing special. Then I'm gonna add a little oregano just to spice it up, make it a little more Italian. And on top of that, you want to have another bit of sugar, about a half a tablespoon, because that helps activate the yeast even further. You have all these in your bowl, and you just whisk the hell out of that thing. Get that all whisked up. Mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. My tip to you is this whole process is only fun when it's not super messy. If you get your ingredients and keep them in order. You keep things contained. You can do this without much mess, then it's worth it. If you get the stuff everywhere, it just becomes such a mess and you're not going to be inspired to do this again. So I've mixed this all up. I'm going to go get my activated yeast, letting it sit for about 5 minutes. Going to pull it out. Let's see what's up. Let's see how that yeast is doing. Let's see if we got it still bubbling. Oh yeah, it's bubbling. I'm going to give it a little bit longer. Okay, let's see how it is now. Gave it a couple more minutes. Oh, look at that. It's bubbling up. This stuff's ready to go. Gonna mix it in now. A lot of people have these fancy schmancy mixers. I have a paddle. I just pour this in there, right? Just pouring it in. No big deal. Got my paddle and I start mixing. Don't go too hard. You're going to get that flour all over the place and you'll be bummed. So look at that. It's just starting to mix up good. And you might think it's not enough or whatever. Just give it a minute. It'll start all coming together. It'll all start mixing. If you, for some reason, feel like there's not enough water, you can always add a little water. If you think you added too much water, you can add a little more flour. But don't do anything until you give it a little bit of time with your spoon or your paddle. And look, it's starting to come together. What you want to do is you want to get it into a big ball. It didn't take that long. This is all in real time here. Got it? All right. I keep a little bit of extra flour in this cup so I don't have to keep digging in the bag. That's where you get more of a mess when you're pulling stuff out of the bag, you know. Flour is part of the cooking process here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my hands in there. You want to wash your hands, of course, especially if you've been petting your dog or scratching yourself or something. You know. And get my hands a little in there with this bit of flour. Just add a little flour. Okay. I'm thinking, actually, we need a little more water. So I'm going to add a little bit more, just a tiny bit. We're kneading until we get it into a ball. It should look like a nice ball like this. Boom, look at that. Pizza dough. What you're going to do now is you're going to drizzle a little olive oil on it over the top. Okay. Get a little olive oil in there. Okay, a little bit more. All right. Now you're gonna cover this up, and you're gonna put it in a warm place, which I find the oven to be a good place. I don't have the oven turned on because mine's a gas oven and it's always on a little bit, but you want it to be a little bit warm. And you're gonna put it in and let it rise. It should double in size before you get to a little bit more kneading and then get into the fun stuff. So we'll be back in about an hour. Making Thanksgiving leftover pizza pie with Valentino. He's a service dog, so it's okay to have him in the kitchen apparently. We got the Wisconsin sharp cheddar. We have mozzarella. We have the tomato sauce, which we got from the tomatoes in the garden. Right, Valentino? And we have the garnish from our Thanksgiving dinner turkey. Got onions, garlic, olives, and the really juicy dark meat in there. All that was nice in the bottom of the pan. Valentino, you're not getting that. Thanksgiving. Hey! I love this guy. Okay, so we've let the dough rise for about an hour. Let's see where we're at. Knead it a little bit more, beat it down. Yeah, this is gonna be sick pizza. All right, now we're gonna make our pizza crust, which is not really rocket science, is it? You're gonna make a round crust with an edge, just like you'd imagine, kind of like playing with Play-Doh or something. We got our old school baking pan. It's an old aluminum pan, scary looking yet very effective. Gonna take your flour, spread some out on there so you could have a space to work with your crust. You know, there is nothing that's as yummy as a fresh baked homemade pizza. There really is not. I can't wait to actually eat this. So you just spread it out. It's also handy to have one of these little rolling pins, like a mini rolling pin. Just pulled that out of my ass, didn't I? But look, rolling pin helps you spread it out nice. Pretty easy. You can go smaller crust if you want a thicker crust. You can go a little bit extra if you want it. I like it to be like a New York pizza, like I said, so it's not too thin, it's not too thick. Look at that. Look at it spread out nice and easy. Didn't have to fuss with it too much, especially with this little rolling pin. I've rented my house out a few times and people just leave stuff behind. They want to adopt it. This is one of the things. So thank you, former tenant, whoever you were, for this wonderful little rolling pin. So I have it in about the size I want. What you do is you just kind of roll the edge in, a little bit of a roll like that. That's what I do. And it makes the nice crust edge. So you have a little handle for your pizza. You know, that's what a pizza has. There must be a reason for it. And I think it's the handle, actually. What do you think? Comments down below. Like and subscribe. HITV Pizza coming your way. I mean, I think that looks pretty damn good. It's ready for some toppings. I preheated the oven and turned it up to 425 degrees because I'm hungry. And it only takes about 15 minutes to cook a pizza once you get everything on it, which is amazing. Look at that. Oh my God. It's pretty damn good, right? So you take your homemade pizza sauce straight from the garden or possibly straight from the shelf. You decide. Comments down below. And you can take your cooking paddle and it's funny how we all the YouTube channels, they say the same things. Hey, you subscribe and like button and comments down below. I don't really give a rat's ass what you think, but you know, it'd be kind of funny to see if you give me a bunch of crap for making pizza the wrong way. Wonder if I'll even care. Now I'm going to do a layer of mozzarella, which I think is the more important cheese, more important than the cheddar. You want more mozzarella than you want cheddar. So you got your base of mozzarella or mozzarella. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Is it mozzarella or mozzarella? Comments down below. I hope this has been a helpful bit of YouTubing for you aspiring pizzonados. Because you know what? One of my favorite skills I've learned recently is actually this, learning to make a pizza from scratch. It's really not that hard and it feels good, straight from your heart. And I love pizza. I love it. I mean, isn't it amazing how amazing pizza is? Easy thing, but it's just perfect. I think that humans evolved to eat pizza. So here we go. Wisconsin cheddar is a little clumpy. This is going to give the cheese a little bit more bite. The mozzarella is a kind of neutral, and this just gives it a more savory flavor and a bit of color too. I think that's good. I like a cheesy pizza. We got our toppings. Look at that. Leftover Thanksgiving pizza. Oven's preheated. We're gonna go in. I'm gonna make sure this pizza's done. Oh yeah, that pizza's done. Oh yeah. Let's see. That pizza is done. Dun 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 dun. Ooh, look at that. How perfect is that? Voila! That pizza, leftover Thanksgiving pizza, ready to eat. You know, Maya, why don't you let them know how it tastes in the comments down below. I have to let it congeal for a minute before we eat it, but we're gonna try to eat it as quickly as we can before my bass player Jim comes over, and we don't really want to share it with him. Sorry, Jim. If there's a slice left, maybe you're gonna have it, but probably won't be any left. Anyways, thanks for joining us on Cooking Corner on HITV. Who knows what we're gonna cook up next, but I bet it's gonna be good. Bon appetit. What do you think? Is that pizza done? How's that pizza, Maya?
Super good.
I think it's the best pizza that that we've made yet. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.